Hello, everyone. This is Professor Joseph Holbrook, and today we start a new course called Introduction to Christianity in the fall of 2022 at Florida International University, sponsored by the Religious Studies Department. This course serves as the introduction to our Certificate of Christian Studies. And so I encourage you to reach out if you see this video and you're interested in finding out more about our program of Christian Studies. Reach out to me and I'll be happy to fill you in. So today we're starting with week 1, week 1A. Most weeks there'll be probably 2 lectures, one for our Monday class and one for the Wednesday class. Today we begin with our very first lecture on the early church and with a discussion of the Jewish context of the early Christianity. So let's begin. Our outline for this week is setting the context, pages 1 through 15 of Alistair McGrath's History of Christianity and Introduction. So today we're going to talk about the origins of Christianity and the crucible, the history of Israel. On Wednesday, we will talk about a wider context, the pagan quest for wisdom, which includes the turning point, Jesus of Nazareth, the early spread of Christianity, the apostolic age, women in apostolic Christianity, and Christianity and Judaism, a complex relationship. So that's the material we're going to cover for this week in 2 lectures. So, who were these people? Let me see where I can put myself out of the way here. Around the year 60 of the Common Era, the Roman authorities began to realize there was a new secret society in the heart of their city, which was rapidly gaining recruits. The report spoke of a sect based on some mysterious and dark figure called Christus or Christus. The great fire which swept through Rome during the reign of Emperor Nero in 64 was contemporaneous with this, and the Roman historian Tacitus wrote an account of this event about 50 years later. He identified the new religious group as the Christians. And he mentioned Christus, but didn't seem to know much about who it was. I always seem to be in the way here. Yet less than 300 years later, the new religious movement had become the official religion of the Roman Empire. So how did this happen? This chapter tells the story of the emergence of this new religion during the first 500 years and tracks its growth from a fringe movement on the margins of imperial society to the dominant religion of the Roman Empire. So Christianity originally began as a Jewish reform movement within Judaism. There's no indication that Jesus of Nazareth intended to begin a new religion other than the Judaism that he occasionally criticized and tried to correct. There are no historical grounds for believing that the term Christian originated from Jesus of Nazareth himself. The early Christians tended to refer to each other as disciples or saints or followers of the way, as the letters of the New Testament make clear. Yet others use alternative names to refer to this new movement. The New Testament suggests that the term Christians, which in Greek was Christianoi, were first used by outsiders. The term Christian does not imply that this new religious movement was uniform and well organized. The early history of Christianity shows that it was diverse, without well-defined authority structures or carefully formulated sets of belief. These began to crystallize during the first few centuries of Christian history. This first chapter sets out to explain how this process took place and explore some of its results. It focuses on the highly significant period between the death of the last apostle in 100, more or less 100, of the Common Era, and the Council of Chalcedon in 451. Whoops, I lost my place. From its outset, Christianity saw itself as continuous with Judaism. Let me try this slide from the beginning. Let's see if this works better. Maybe this will work better. Nope, now I lost my spot. Christians were clear that the God that they followed and worshipped was the same God worshipped by the Israelite patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The continuity between Judaism and Christianity is obvious at many points. Judaism placed particular emphasis on the law. In Hebrew, the law is called the Torah. Jesus of Nazareth emphasized that he had not come to abolish the law or the prophets, but to fulfill them. The same point is made by Paul in his New Testament letters. Jesus was the goal of the law in Romans 10, using the Greek word telos, which means the end or the objective. Paul also stresses the continuity between the faith of Abraham and that of Christians in Romans chapter 4. The letter to the Hebrews points out both the continuity of the relationship between Moses and Jesus in Hebrews chapter 3, comparing the two as similar figures, and between Christians and the great figures of faith of ancient Israel, Hebrews 11. Throughout the New Testament, the same theme recurs. Christianity is continuous with Judaism and brings it to completion, while Judaism was pointing towards Christ. This has several major consequences, of which the following are the most important. In terms of politics, one must marvel at how a relatively small political elite has been able to diffuse and deflect popular protests. Again and again, the threat of revolution has been averted by shrewd conciliatory and cooperative moves by those in power. The result is a remarkable continuity in the hierarchical social structure and in the distribution of power. First, both Christians and Jews regarded more or less the same collection of writings as having religious authority, known by the Jews as the Law, the Prophets, and the Writings, and by the Christians as the Old Testament. Although there have always been more radical thinkers within Christianity, such as the 2nd century writer Marcion of Sinope, who argued for the removal of any historical or theological link with Judaism. The majority opinion has always been that it is important to affirm and value the link between the Christian church and Israel. Although Christians and Jews both regard the same set of texts as important, they use different names to refer to them and interpret them in different ways. Second, the New Testament writers emphasized that Old Testament prophecies were understood to be fulfilled in the life and death of Jesus Christ. By doing this, they drew attention to two important beliefs: that Christianity is continuous with Judaism, and that Christianity brings Judaism to its true fulfillment. Of course, that's a Christian point of view. Many Jewish thinkers and rabbis would disagree with that. This is seen in Paul's letters in the Gospel of Matthew, which explore the importance of Christianity for Jews. 12 times the Gospel of Matthew notes how events in the life of Jesus are fulfilling the Old Testament prophecy. This continuity between Christianity and Judaism helps also explain some of the early conflicts in Christian history. At least some of the Christians initially continued to worship in Jewish synagogues before the controversy became problematic. The letters of Paul help us understand at least some of those controversies. Two questions were of particular importance and were keenly debated in the first century. First, should Christian converts be required to be circumcised? Those who emphasized the continuity between Christianity and Judaism believed that they should be. Yet the view which ultimately prevailed was that Christians were no longer subject to cultic laws of Judaism, such as the requirement to be circumcised or the observance of strict food laws. Second, were non-Jewish converts to Christianity to be treated as Jews? The Jewish term Gentile, meaning someone who is not a Jew, was used in this discussion. Again, those who emphasized the continuity between Judaism and Christianity argued that Gentile believers should be treated as Jews. For this reason, they demanded the circumcision of male Gentile converts. Yet the majority view was quite different. To be a Christian was not about reinforcing a Jewish ethnic or cultural identity, but about entering a new way of living and thinking that was open to everyone. By the late first century, Christians largely saw themselves as a new religious movement originating within Judaism, but not limited by its cultic or ethnic traditions. Judaism was viewed as a legal religion. In Latin, that would be religio licita by the Roman authorities. Early Christian communities were not considered to be entitled to imperial legal protection as the Jews were. These communities thus lived under the shadow of a possible persecution, forcing them to maintain a low public profile. They had no access to power or social influence and were often the object of oppression by secular authorities. One of the factors that helped crystallize a growing sense of religious identity within the churches was the rapid growth of Christianity outside Palestine as it gained a following within the Greek-speaking world of the Eastern Mediterranean. We shall explore this further in the following section. And that concludes, my dear friends, my first lecture on the Jewish context for early Christianity. And I will continue on Wednesday with the pagan search for wisdom and the pagan context, as well as a few other points, the role of women in Christianity. Thank you very much. Please reach out to me if you have any questions about this course. There is a PDF copy of Alistair McGrath's book available that I can send you. I will talk to you later this week. Thank you.